Hello everyone, and welcome back to BGA TVHT, the show where we do gaming commentaries every other day. And I'm gonna say, on this episode, this is gonna be a short one, and well, I mean, it's a bit weird. So, I think it was 2 videos ago, I made a video talking about would mini consoles be the future of emulation with Nintendo going around and suing all these emulator sites and shutting them down. And I basically came to the conclusion all the ones on the market kinda sucked. I mean, unless you modded them, they were kind of the most bare bones, kinda like mediocre experiences in terms of the amount of games you got and the quality of the games you got, even on the SNES Classic. So with the arrival of that video, I also talked about would Sega ever do a mini console, and I predicted that they wouldn't, but lo and behold, it looks like they have announced a mini console. Yeah, so I actually don't know what it's called. I think it's like the Sega Genesis Classic or something. Yeah, they just basically announced, hey, we're doing this. Well, thing is, I've already done it before. Actually, many times before. This is nothing new for Sega to make a mini console. They were kind of the first ones to kind of do it, but not really do it, because it was more like they just made newer Genesis consoles that could play the Genesis games. But now it looks like they might actually be making a proper mini console like the SNES, NES, and PlayStation Classics. Now, my opinion on this? No. There were not enough good games on the Genesis. No offense to people who grew up on the Genesis, but in my opinion, there is absolutely no way they're gonna fill however large their library is, whether it be 20, 30, more or less games than that. There's absolutely no way they're gonna fill their entire library with quality games. There's gonna be some fodder or filler in that classic console. I mean, every mini console so far has fallen into the same trap, where they end up having filler games in between the big ones. Like, they have Super Mario Bros., Legend of Zelda, Kirby's Adventure, Metroid, but they would also have, and this is not necessarily true, but they would have, like, soccer and tennis and baseball, and these games that were black box filler, which I use that term a lot in my mini console video, which is basically when they take the launch titles from the NES games and place them into NES collections, which are supposed to be the greatest hits. And let me tell you, those games weren't actually that great, so you can see why people don't necessarily want those games in collections. Well, I see no way of Sega avoiding this problem with the Sega Genesis Classic, or whatever it's called, because even the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, I know that had some filler games that you weren't really gonna play. I mean, it had all the heavy hitters you would want, but it did not have all the games that you would have wanted. Or it has some filler games that were like, why would I even play this more than once just to try it? Like, you have Sonic, you have the Star game, Starman, no, I forgot its name, but just how are they going to avoid that? Because unlike the NES, SNES, and PS1, the Genesis, as far as I can tell, when people recount memories of the Genesis, the games I hear about the most are obviously Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, the plethora of Sonic spin-offs, Mortal Kombat, because it had the blood, and it was a big point in gaming history, and I think Altered Beast and Golden Axe, just because they were kind of good examples of what the Genesis was trying to be at launch. But other than that, I hear about Alex Kidd, because that led to the creation of Sonic, was Alex Kidd. But in terms of just like third-party support or other games, oh yeah, and sports games. That was a big selling point of the Genesis before Sonic came around, was just sports games. I don't know. SNES and NES had sports games too. Sure, they probably weren't as good, but still had them. I mean, like, yeah, they had licensed names, but come on. Like, if you had a game called Baseball 2018, next to a game that was like MLB Ultimate The Show 18, or whatever it's called, I forgot again, sorry, but which one would you pick? Even if Baseball 2018 was a better game, you might be interested more in the show, MLB The Show 18, just because, well, one, it has a cooler title, two, it probably had better marketing, and I'm just saying this based on titles and like how your marketing scheme goes and just everything there. So with the Sega Genesis Classic, I really feel like unless I've been missing something when watching retrospectives on the Genesis, I'm possibly missing something when it comes to the amount of iconic games on that console. You think about the NES, and tons of iconic games. They could fill up half their library with games that people who had never even heard of the NES had probably heard about. Same with the SNES, like Super Mario World, you've probably heard of that, but some people who've heard of that probably haven't heard about Super Mario World. F-Zero, yeah, kinda. Super Metroid, oh yeah, people know that. A Link to the Past is one of the most beloved 2D games in that franchise. Yeah, people know that. Genesis, Sonic, and maybe Mortal Kombat. I don't even know if Mortal Kombat would be a thing that would be on there. I think, maybe? I mean, I can't seem to find any pictures or lists of games, and I may not just be looking in the right place, but I mean, it doesn't seem like some of the other heavy hitters. Now, of course, this does not include Sega CD games. This I kind of have a problem with. If they had taken, like, two or three games each from the CD and the 32X, and also put that in the Genesis Classic, I would be happy with that. Putting extra games from the add-ons to that console in would be great, because let's face it, the 32X and Sega CD did not have good games. Let's see, Sega CD, Sonic CD. What else? Not really anything. 32X, what did it have? Knuckles Chaotix, and that really isn't looked upon as a fan favorite or even a cult favorite. I don't even think people really like that one just because of how it like plays and the weird things they have done with the mechanics in that game. I mean, they had Sonic Crackers, but then they took it out and replaced it with Knuckles, and it was just so weird, and it kind of turned me off when I first tried it, because yeah, it was a fun game, but I didn't understand because it was too complex for a 2D Sonic game, and the levels, oh my god, the levels. Three endings, just, no. And other games, what do you have? Doom. You can get better versions of Doom, of the original Doom on PC, probably. Also, you could get it on the SNES. Heck, So I think Sega Saturn had it. Why would you get it on the 32X if the Sega Saturn had it? I mean, come on. Alright, so yeah, just... I'm not optimistic for a Sega Genesis Classic at all. I can't see any reason why they would even make a mini console. In my opinion, they should just stick to making game collections, because then they can put all of their great games in one place for a cheaper price than buying a full mini console, and then yeah, you just have them. So yeah, that's that part, and that's not all for Sega related news, apparently. So yeah, they announced the next Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Oh boy, what a surprise. Like, who even cares about this at this point? Let me check over here. Oh yeah, that's right. Like 1% of the Sonic fan base cares about this right now. Anyway, I never hear talk about the Mario and Sonic games from like anybody, so I don't think that. On that note, I will actually explain, because this is possibly the most convoluted launch of a Mario and Sonic game yet. So first, there is the Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games, which is a Switch exclusive. You know, it's got Mario in it. There's going to be an arcade version of that. Then there's going to be a Tokyo Olympics 2020 or something along that lines, which is a Sega-made non-Sonic or Mario related Olympics game, which I don't even know. I don't really care. And then on phones, they're going to take out half the namesake of the Mario and Sonic franchise and turn it into Sonic at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games for just phones. So yeah, I don't know. This is the most convoluted one yet. I mean, most of the time it's just been a Wii U 3DS or Wii 3DS release, but this time, oh my gosh. You know, because you have the Switch now, it's the only main console, you gotta bring it to phones, and then you're making another Olympics game about the same Olympics. So great job there, Sega. You got everybody confused. Yeah, so that's all the Sega-related news. And yeah, so I guess that's about it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. And this is Brandon from BGA Gaming, signing off. Goodbye.